one of the most hardest things in life is finding your tribe, finding those like-minded people that think like you, that kind of act like you, that have the same type of perception on the world like you, and people you can get along with, and people you can build with, and people who are genuine. You know, authenticity is something that's a rarity, and it sucks because all of our heroes we look up to. If you look up to any celebrities, I don't really look up to celebrities like that. Once you see what's behind the gates, and once you see what these secret societies and what these entities and these devils and these beings do in secret, it kind of kills the illusion. It destroys the facade of just perfection and people that can't do no wrong. Once you know how the industry's really ran behind the scenes about all the atrocious things that goes on, and the Diddy stuff is just half of it, right? That's just stuff you hear publicly. There's way more worse stuff than that's going on. And it psychologically damages and breaks people. It's why those kid stars, they always start off like kid stars. They get famous when they're kids, and the next thing you know, when they get in like their early 20s or mid 20s, they become alcoholics. They become addicted to substances. They become, they say this happened in the industry, this person touched them, or that happened, and this, that, and the third, and it becomes really bizarre and weird. That's why they call it Holly weird. A lot of crazy things goes on. But is that real? Like what I mean by real is that's something that we should be looking up and holding to a high standard when we see these people in Hollywood or these people in powerful positions and these people in social circumstances that governs authority. It sucks that the pillars of society is rotted. You see the decadence of society on the outside. You see the mansions, the girls, the cars, the boats. And a lot of it is like things that you can't immediately grab and obtain, but it's like dangling in front of your face. Certain types of relationships, certain types of obstacles people don't have to go through that you have to go through, And people say that pain makes you stronger, and it does. But also, going through it for such a long time without any type of rehabilitation or revitalization or any type of viable outsources or outlets takes its effect. It's only so long a boat motor can keep on running before it needs to be replaced or some type of maintenance needs to be done to it, right? The same thing with the human soul and the human mind. Even though our souls are infinite and we're in this body right now, in this consciousness, we still are human. And what I mean by that is that there's a reason why you have ER situations. There's a reason why there's a proliferation of people that are just losing their minds and going crazy and snapping. It's all calculated and it's done precisely and concisely. You see, the greatest sniper on the battlefield is not seen. The greatest sniper on the battlefield, his prey or his targets are seen with their heads, decapitated or blown up, body shots or whatever. But you're never going to see the greatest sniper on the battlefield. Just like you're never going to see the greatest player in this game of life we call. You hear about the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Illuminati, whatever you want to call it, but you never see the real key players behind closed doors. There's family names you never heard of, but they own everything. There's people and beings you've never seen, and you're probably never going to see them. And then if you did see them, you wouldn't even know who they were because they're not famous. They have the power to make people famous, the power to make people presidents, the power to do this, that, and the third, but you never see them. Is that really the real governance? Is that how the life's supposed to be ran? This lack of transparency, this lack of clarity, and truth is such a rarity. I still find it barbaric that people attack each other for no reason. Somebody can attack you just because they don't like you. Somebody can do passive aggressive things towards you. And if you're a real authentic person, you're like, what the heck? This is strange, But that's how the world is. The world's designed that way. It's designed for the fake to thrive and the real to die, because if people were really real, this government wouldn't have the balls that it does now to just do the things that it does. And it doesn't mean no particular administration. We all know every administration is controlled with a code calculation. It's controlled by the J's. We already know that. So it doesn't matter what puppet president they put in there. It doesn't matter if you're Democrat. It doesn't matter if you're Republican. It doesn't fucking matter. The inflation still goes up. People are still miserable with their lives, and people are still insecure. Somebody told me something interesting. They said that they grieve their youth. And at first I didn't understand it. And I was like, I get it. When you're young, you have potential. As you get older, your potential kind of wanes, or unless you calculate a skill that can generate a lot of monetization, then it's pretty much you fall into an obliqueness. You fall into a dark, internal infernal void. We live in a capitalistic society, meaning that if you have a skill or anything, and if you can make money from it, it can elevate you. So if you can make beats and make money from it, good, go for it. It's not an easy route, and most people are connected. If you can sell cars, go for it. If you can sell fucking airplanes, go for it. You can sell bicycles. You can sell a fishing rod. If you can sell your art, if you can sell your skills to play basketball, whatever it is, and you can make a living, go for it. The world is filled with so much insanity, but don't let it take you as well. Chaos. Chaos, misery, blood, flame, and destruction. Corruption's at an all-time high. Sometimes I wonder, why do good people go through bad things in life? And why do certain people have so much hate towards you in their hearts? And then it's not just them. They'll have a group of people that just despise you. Or an entire generation or entire whatever. Because, you can go to another country, and especially in my skin color configuration, certain people may automatically think something about you based on news media, based on how some ninjas acting on YouTube or whatever. Even though you're a totally different person, it doesn't matter. You still get put in the same category. You still get categorized as something that you're not, especially if it's with a negative association. They said they think quiet people are just quiet and they're not really whatever, but quiet people are actually focused. Reading something, looking into something, applying here, doing this, getting ready for school, practicing coding, things that can turn into something in the future, things that if they're nurtured and cultivated right, you can survive. You see, imagine being on a bridge where everybody has to cooperate and you have the common person, you can just go out in society and pick up somebody and you guys and it's a bridge and everybody has to work together so the bridge won't collapse and everybody falls into the abyss beneath. How many people are going to start fighting people on the bridge, going to start attacking the person? It's like, bro, we're both on this bridge. Wouldn't it be wiser if we just work together? You know what I mean? And put away any type of pettiness. If not, then it just shows that if the person is willing to blow up the bridge and take everybody down with them, just to, whatever. It's weird. It's like, why do we even have to approach this? Why do we even have to come to this crossroad? I've lost so many friends in this world because a lot of people just be on some weird stuff, I'm talking about people that I knew, like homies, and I don't know, man. It's a strange thing when everybody's fighting for survival, when everybody's fighting to try to get their voice out there, get their talent out there. It turns to a gladiatorial game, and there's some Roman emperor watching, and he's just eating grapes, and he's deciding whether people live or die with his thumb up or thumb down or whatever, and it's just a brutal reality. But is this real? Is this how life's supposed to be? Like a war zone, constantly in certain battles and situations. Constantly fighting the darkness, constantly fighting demons and demonic forces, and evil that knows how to try to hide itself, try to hide its horns. Someone told me, you can feel the energy of your enemy. You know what I mean? And I thought, what the heck? And I remember in football games, like before we would go play, like the team that came, like home games, the other team will come. Or even when we go to away games, we wear different uniforms for the different occasions. If you go to an away game, you wear a different color. And then if you have a home game, you wear the home game colors or whatever. But when we would go to different places and different schools, you would feel the energy, especially where like the enemy team coming into like the enemy's territory. You could just feel the energy, like the crowd feels off, you know what I mean? Like they may start throwing shit at you or whatever, for real, you know? I mean, a few times we almost got in a fight before we even got to the damn team members, you know what I mean? Like the main team members. But that energy, you know, in this world, it feels like if you're a common person or somebody that doesn't fit into society's mold, you feel that energy everywhere you go. You try to mind your business. People try to, you try to mind your business and whatever. And something always seems to try to do something. You're going down the street, the police just show up, you're waiting for the bus to go this place, that place. The bus shows up late. I heard all stories from people that tell me that, this feels like something's messing with them. And I agree, man. The problem is why and for how long? And how many times have human civilizations rose up and then got reduced to nothing when they gained too much knowledge? I often wonder and ponder these things. Your network is your net worth. Remember that. Knowing the right people can take you far in life, and being trapped with a certain energy and a certain negative synergy can keep you drowned in sorrows, worries, and depression and stressing. All it takes is one thing to change your life, man. One person. At least if you got talent, One person to give that okay, and your whole life can change. Is that really real? Or should we think about the pleroma where whatever you think and you can imagine, you can achieve instantaneously? I think I like that better. Indeed.